Hello, how are you?
Perfect, and you?
I am doing well, and actually, I woke up in a very comedic and humorous energy today.
Oh, all right. Good for you.
Thank you. And actually, to start off with my questions, I'd like for you to share anything about comedy and humor that comes to you to share with us right now.
Humor is used very effectively to shift a person's expectations and so that they will drop them and get surprised.
Hmm, the element of surprise. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yes,
In considering the title Infinite Restaurant,
yes,
and in having conversations with a friend of mine about a recent experience, the following came to me that I'd like to share with you.
yes.
Existence is like a buffet. All of the options are available, but that doesn't mean we need to consume them, nor are they all relevant for us.
Correct.
We can choose what we need on our plate in this lifetime, and in another lifetime, should we choose, we come back and make different selections in alignment with our path of exploration.
Yes, but you don't come back. Reincarnation, in a sense, can be an experience, but it's not mechanically what actually happens because everything exists at the same time.
Yes, thank you for that reminder. Um, on the topic of shifting and refining our food or dietary choices,
Yes,
I'm curious about your perspective on emotional eating. I find that a lot of people speak about stress eating or not eating,
yes.
but is there something we're not addressing in its fullness that you encourage us to do so that we move higher to transform our negative beliefs?
Well, of course. The idea of stress eating, in a sense, is no different than any addiction. You are attempting to fill an emptiness within you, a hole within you that cannot be filled that way. So you are looking for an outside solution instead of an interior solution of valuing yourself and appreciating yourself and understanding how to allow life to work to your advantage. So once you understand these things and can fulfill yourself in that way, there will be no more emptiness. You will feel connected, you will feel fulfilled.
Mm.
The stress will disappear.
So then, would you say that in the form of stress eating that exhibits itself as someone maybe not eating when they're stressed out, that is they're imagining that whatever energies they're experiencing, that they have the ability to choose to not take in those energies into themselves?
It depends on the person, it depends on the path. You have to sort of, again, take it on a case by case basis because there can be different reasons for doing it that way. But again, along the lines we were discussing, the idea is that if they do experience a stress because of an emptiness, because of something that feels unfulfilled, the symbol of taking food in may be contrary to the devaluing of their own being.
Mm.
Because to take food in for them might be, I will support this and I will not want to support this, so I will not support it through the outside action of eating because it's not worth supporting, I'm not worth it, or many other reasons they may come up with for not valuing themselves in that way.
Mm. Wow, it's really powerful. Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to hear your perspective about the energy of the rainbow and the particular messages it is providing us at this time that may be different than it has in other times.
Well, for you at this time, in general, as a symbol for humanity, it represents ascension itself, that you are transitioning from a lower state to a higher state.
Hmm.
It's a bridge, in other words,
Hmm.
between one reality and another through the idea of raising your vibrational frequency. Now, you
Hmm.
do understand that from a higher perspective, and again, this is a symbol that works well for your present day and age, a rainbow is not a bow, it's a full circle. You're only
Hmm.
seeing a part of it.
Indeed.
So the idea then is that by going to a higher perspective, you see the bigger picture, you see the whole thing more easily.
I love it. That's definitely been a theme for me in my life, especially since the beginning of this year, not to put any insistence on a specific time frame, but that idea of, we can stay below and see all the nitty-gritty detail. However, in order to actually transform, going above to see the bigger picture, the full circle gives us the ability to be more of who we are.
Yes, of course, because you have more information. You are better informed by seeing from the higher perspective.
Yes, I love it. I find that we problematize or pathologize human beings or other creatures that do not exhibit the body forms we classify as standard or normal.
Yes.
Are many of those beings, and I'll say in particular human beings, who have different shapes and different expressions, are many of them often reflecting different forms along the spectrum of humanity that we need to learn how to perceive differently? Or are they also displaying to us that we have connections to other civilizations, extraterrestrials, and so forth?
It's not an or, it's an and there's more to it even than that, because each one has a reason for the shape that they have chosen to experience that could contain many different lessons and experiences, not only for them, but those that interact with them. So it's an and again, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay. If there is an in general, what we call albinism. So for those who are albinos, so this is along the similar thought as the last question.
Yes.
I've thought about what they reflect to us, and I'd like to know from your perspective what in general those individuals are sharing with us.
Even the generalities can have vast differences. So it depends on the generality that gets chosen. From our perspective, because of our nature, the generality that we will choose, which is not the only one, is to get you used to the hybrids. Because many of them are that pale.
And is it the same thing with vitiligo?
It's a little bit different. It's more about the idea of the union between two things, between humanity and something that is in your mind not exactly you, but will become you. It is the blending of humanity with the hybrids into the sixth hybrid race. The change and transformation that, again, can be expressed in many different levels for many different reasons, but it generally represents the idea of transition or transformation in the most general way. And the revealing of that blending, the revealing of that change, so that humanity can respond or react to it however they will.
What is the energetic and or symbolic function of melanin?
Well, the energetic function in some sense is to protect you from the rays of the sun that are harsher to your environment.
Yes. Is there anything more beyond that spiritually and in other ways?
Of course, there can be. But again, you have to take it on a case-by-case basis. In a more general fashion, it represents the idea of the roots of humanity, the idea of those who were first Homo sapiens. So it can represent the idea of a beginning of humanity, a grounding, and a connection to nature.
Beautiful. Does your civilization use permission slips, or do you operate from the full understanding that you are the ultimate permission slip?
Well, both when it suits us. In other words, in a sense, though we understand the idea that we are always the ultimate permission slip, we can sometimes use permission slips in a variety of ways for enjoyment, for the idea of serving a certain purpose. For example, in a sense, interacting with all of you in the way that we do is a kind of permission slip. Because we have to use that permission slip in order for us to make sense to you. So it serves a purpose to do so sometimes.
Okay, beautiful. Kachina spirits. So are they similar to, from your perspective, your understanding of what in the Yoruba tradition and culture, and the Yoruba are specific tribe in West Africa, we have in our indigenous practice a term called irumole, which are beings of light. They're interdimensional, come from different places. Some people confuse them with orisha, but the orisha are more like elevated human beings. So I would say the irumole are more energetic, and we call them deities, but they're energies that manifest in different elements of nature, archetypes, and so forth. So do you find that the Kachina and the irumole are the same, but from just different perspectives, or are they completely different beings?
They're not completely different, but they do share certain similar qualities, but they're not exactly the same. There is some overlap.
Okay. I have questions on specific creatures, if it's all right to ask.
We'll begin and we'll see how much the timing will work in that direction.
Okay. So I'll say the three then: jaguar, coyote, and bats.
The jaguar and the coyote have more similarity in the sense that the coyote is symbolic of rapid change in an unexpected way, or what you call trickster energy. The jaguar is more connected to the idea of the power of nature in a certain way that is usually represented in certain cultures by the idea of the alebrije. You understand this?
I don't know that term.
It's kind of a chimeric creature that is mostly represented by the body of a jaguar, but contains other animal elements, such as wings or claws or what have you, that represent the true power underlying the connectivity within nature.
Okay.
The idea of bats is more a type of messenger that is similar in a way to the idea of birds, but more geared toward the idea of deeper mysteries that have to do with the inner regions of the soul.
Beautiful. Thank you for that.
Will that do?
For that question, yes. And do I have enough time to ask one more question?
Well, that was a question, so I guess you just used up your time.
Okay. I will ask another question. Sound healing, or sound in general.
Yes.
For any individuals who work primarily through sound, or as musicians or whatever other profession we choose, are we connecting to specific civilizations or dimensions, or multitudes of them?
It depends. Yes, you can. All of the above. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bashar.
Good day.
Good day.